the cake out
in the rain.
I don't
God.
think that I could take it, 'cause it took so long to make it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was horrible, but it was worth it, because this has been a shit weekend.
It's been a very long week. You've worked hard, Dano.
I've worked
3 whole days,
episodes.
from what I
I'm
understand.
fucking done.
Not 3 whole days.
So, episodes.
So 6 hours in total.
I haven't worked that hard in about 3 in the last 3 years. That's like the most I've ever done.
All right, but fine, just fine. Stop rubbing it in.
Yeah, you'll be fine, Tiger.
This is Invert the Y. I'm just fucking fobbing it off. I'm just not engaging in the bullshit.
Yeah, shake it off. Shake it off.
This is Invert the Y. I don't know what number podcast it is anymore, because
I actually don't remember either.
Some editor, somebody that bitches and moans about fucking doing bullshit.
One of the monkeys can't handle it.
They can't handle it. So I don't know what number it is anymore. I'm Retro Dan. That's Jason Relaxation. We're joined again because we suckered them in over lunch. We've got Lucky Lisa, and we've got the spit roast back.
I thought that beer tasted funny.
See? I don't know. I can't believe you came back. I'm gobsmacked.
I don't even know how it happened.
I'll be texting Lucky Lisa later on. I'll be going, I can't believe you guys did a second episode. I thought you were well on your way, halfway down the freeway.
We're that committed.
Committed to the cause.
You know what? We even discussed doing Skype calls in and putting the computer screen in a cardboard box.
I'm going to do it. This one's going to go in a cardboard box.
And it's going to be the Awesome 3000, like the fucking robot from South Park.
I cannot wait. Awesome, I love you.
You're so cute. Thank you. You're so cute.
Thank you, Polly Pissy Pants.
How was that, Polly Pissy Pants?
You've just reminded me. I need to go find Smarty Bear.
Oh, Smarty Bear!
He's in the garage somewhere. I fucking no idea where he is, but he's here somewhere.
Well,
because we talked about
for next time.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about The Exorcist.
Oh.
There's a topic.
Did I watch that with you at your place?
You watched it with me, and we were pissing ourselves.
We were pissing ourselves, were we?
Well, yeah, because the cat acts like fucking The Exorcist. Because it runs around going...
He was sitting on the lounge like this.
Yeah, I fucking can't deal with it.
I'm pissing myself laughing at the pea soup coming out of the mouth. And when the spider baby walked down the backward walk down the stairs, flips out.
I did. But I did laugh at when that would be an abuse of power, wouldn't it, Garrus? I did laugh at that. Your mum sucks cock. Fuck you, priest.
Fuck you, priest. Fuck you, priest.
We talked about how, particularly the unedited version of it,
sick,
would never make it today.
No.
Because we did this podcast a month or two ago now, and I was thinking of you at the time because I know how much you love that movie, and I said I'm pretty certain even the edited version would probably push shit up a hill to get released today.
Maybe the edited version would get...
But the
unedited...
Human Centipede, like...
Oh, true. Okay, true. But the unedited... I don't think... No way.
It'd get an R rating, maybe.
No, I don't even think it'd get released. No, because...
Well, in America, they tend not to release R-rated things because it's hard to get an audience. So
it costs too much. There's no return on investment.
But the whole idea of a child doing that shit with a crucifix and a what's-its... And a bitsits.
Well,
it was based.
Is that what it's called?
Based on a true story.
It's called a ya.
And now little Miranda writes for the Telegraph.
He's a cracker. Spit roast. We got him back.
Oh, far out.
I love it. I love how over lunch we fed him with fucking all sorts of food, and I don't know. We just said, "Oh, do you want to do another one?"
Because we forgot a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, no worries." Because we forgot a whole bunch of shit, including this story, which is the ram.
Yeah.
So once again, let's go back into the deep dark recesses of the ever decaying brain that I have, with half a brain in a jar somewhere, where interdimensional aliens have taken the brain and put it in a jar
do you
for
have
travel.
Music for this?
Yeah,
I do have theme music.
Yeah, because when I
I'm thinking like a wavy.
Oh no, it's a retro motherfucking 8-bit gaming sound.
Oh,
But it only
I'm
happens-
thinking wavy. You know when they do the flashback
Yep.
scene on.
Yeah, remember when...
Star wipe.
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
it.
and
Do you know what it
Star
is?
Wipe.
It's called Happy Children's Music.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but you remember in Wayne's World where they go, let's do the Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
ending? It's kind of like that.
Yes.
But it only works when I go, rolling monkeys! Beautiful. This one's a really quick one, and that's no bullshit.
That's what
But
she said.
no, well, that's how I roll. There she goes again, the maid lady. She won't stop. She never gives up hope. Now, she's either posting another jiggle fest.
Ah.
She's made of jelly, that chick.
No, she's not. She's made mostly of silicon.
Oh, silicon, yeah.
Say.
Well, Dow Corning loves her. Lisa, lucky Lisa, do you remember? This is the Ram. One day, our parents, myself, and lucky Lisa, and I don't know if you were here, Jason Relaxation, I can't remember it, but this is the Ram. We went fishing, and we got those little fishing boats, and we went up the Hawkesbury River. Do you remember this?
No, wasn't this the houseboats?
No, it wasn't the houseboat. They were no, because I'm telling you the fucking story. Because what happened was we got on the
Are
little.
you?
No,
In a very roundabout way.
we got on these little boats, and Dad's gone. I need to take a piss, which is a signifying that we need to end the podcast. And he's just decided that he'll do it over the side of a boat,
I'm pretty
I don't
sure.
remember this.
right in front of you.
I'm fairly certain.
it wasn't
this
a
was
houseboat.
Houseboat because we had boats that came off the houseboats that we went fishing on.
Do you remember now?
Ah, it was the houseboat.
Okay, do you remember now?
Yes.
And he's just decided I'm going to go to the toilet, and he didn't care. His niece was right there, which was you,
Kate was there too.
and Kate was there
Kate
as well.
was only really little.
And he's just gone.
He flops his cock out, takes a piss off the side of the
That's
boat.
right.
On the Hawkesbury, which for those people who are not
There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people on boats in the Hawkesbury.
I'm just pleased he put it out of the boat.
Yeah, he could have pissed in the boat.
I pissed in a tent. That's another story. Yeah, I did that in October.
Well, no, I remember that weekend because that was when I had decided that I've always wanted to jump off a boat into the into the water.
It's actually really hard to get back up again.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
No shit, I remember that. So I've jumped off the boat. I'm thinking, yeah, this is so liberating, and then I keep going down.
Yeah.
This is a bit fucking deep.
You got sucked into the bloody water.
So I eventually, instead of just letting myself fall down, okay, maybe I'll just start making my way up, and then I could not get back into the fucking boat.
Because those boats in particular, they didn't have any sort of...
There was no ladder.
There's
There was nothing.
no ladder to get back up.
She couldn't get back in, man. So they spent like an hour like
Oh, it was like 10
poles
minutes.
or like poles to try and get like
There were not fucking poles.
wasn't it
It was a noodle.
a noodle?
Well, maybe a noodle was involved.
But the old man thought he didn't care about privacy. He's just decided.
He's never given a shit. Like,
No.
I remember growing up, because Dad was always, if you need... So, the farting that's gone on here this afternoon...
has been
right?
abysmal, but yes.
It's probably going to be more.
Impressive. But Dad, when we were growing up...
I can feel it.
Always used to go...
How did I score this side?
Because this is where I fucking sit.
Always used to go to another room to fart. Never in front of us, because we were girls.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, but...
Not in our house.
not in our house. It was a
No, and that's
rite
why...
of passage. It's a rite of passage in our house.
That was why I was always horrified by your dad
Yeah.
growing up. Because he was burping, farting, scratching his ass
Yeah.
all the time. Everything my dad didn't do.
Do you remember he just walked past you when
Yeah.
you came to visit, and
dust.
you go, and you'd just be sitting there going, what? But I told you the story at lunch when we were at Bunnings one time, and he's bent over to try and pick up some I don't know, whatever it was on the lower shelf, and you knew whenever he bent over, that was
a
it.
problem.
That was a problem. He could never do yoga. He'd be fucked.
But farting and yoga is normal. That happens everywhere.
Oh, no.
Did Lisa ever tell you about the first time she met my mother?
Oh my god.
I'll let her tell it in her own words.
Did you fart?
No, it was not me.
She
So
farted.
we're sitting at a table pretty much this size, and we're playing cards with his mum and dad. Was it your brother and
Yeah, my
sister-in-law?
brother and my sister-in-law.
So this is the first time I've ever met them. And his mother stands up, says, right, I'm going off to bed. She's sitting over here. She walks around, and the bedroom's behind me. She walks around and literally farts in my ear.
Crop
She
dust.
dust.
You got crop dusted.
Crop dusted.
I'm sitting there going, oh my God. I'm 21 years old, 22 years old, whatever it was, going, do I laugh? What do I do? Oh my God. This is the first time I've met my mother-in-law. What do I do? Steve's sitting there pissing himself laughing. But under his breath because he knows how uncomfortable I am. So I can't, but she just kept walking like nothing had ever happened.
I've never heard that term crop dusted before. That's a good one.
That's a good in planes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the flight attendants like to crop dust.
No, it was my
Do they?
favorite.
Do you reckon they do it and they just go, I fucking farted on that
Totally on
guy's head?
purpose, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can
If you're a particularly obnoxious customer,
Yeah.
Exactly.
guaranteed they're going to
Yeah.
fart on your face.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure if I ever went up and down the stairs at my high school without farting. It was just such a great way to get a captive audience, but still be mobile enough so that no one could actually establish it was you.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
I used to know
Tied around.
I used to know a bus driver, and he used to have like a little fan next to his steering wheel, and he could fart into it; it would shoot straight up the back, and he'd be watching all the kids fight over who'd done.
Why is this so funny? Farting is just universally funny. I'm sorry.
I reckon it is too. I remember being at work with a retro skater, right? And you'd be at the trough, and you'd go right, and he'd go,
Stepped on a frog.
"Fuck, mate, you better get your bowel checked. Something's fucking crawled up that and killed and fucking died." That reminds me of the story about, you know how I was saying at lunch, your daughter's on the computer watching Netflix or whatever it is, and that screen's absolutely disgusting.
Oh, it's filthy.
I'll fucking never forget it. There was one time we were at, there was
This could be really
no,
bad.
it's not.
Just based on that
It's
reaction.
not. It's just it just brings back memories. There was a lady that used to work in our office as well, and for whatever reason she was moving offices or something, and for some reason I was moving the keyboard and stuff and getting rid of her computer and whatever and putting in boxes, and the retro skater, he says to me, "You better wear fucking gloves, mate." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "You should see the fucking dandruff that's come off into the fucking keyboard." Right.
You turn it upside down.
Mate, and I'm not kidding. I fucking turned it upside down and there were flakes on this keyboard. And he goes, "You better fucking sterilise your hands and that fucking keyboard when you move it, big boy, because it's a fucking debacle." And that screen upstairs with that griminess on it, it just reminds me of that fucking keyboard.
Mate,
and I remember like pulling my sloppy Joe because I was wearing it. And I was like T-Rex hands trying to pick the fucking thing up. It was shocking.
Oh, fuck me. So do we actually even have a topic for this? Because I know there's a movie that's being remade that you're a big fan of.
What movie's that?
Dark Crystal.
Yes! Yeah, well, I can't believe you were going to go without talking about Dark Crystal.
I know.
And our memories of the Dark Crystal.
Well, that was one of the best nights of my childhood life.
Fuck me. it's not
You
setting
didn't have a
high
good
bar
childhood,
there.
did you?
Taking it.
You're learning a lot about your wife today.
No,
roast.
we went. You guys came over for the night. It was very special because you were sleeping over and it was so exciting.
Yeah. Do you remember I told the story a couple of weeks ago? Remember the Betamax?
Oh, yes.
And I told the story.
The Dark Crystal was on beta.
It was on beta,
It
but I
was.
told the story when we used to go to the video barn with Dad, and I go, "Well, how come there's fucking 100 million VHSs, but like no Betamaxes? We should get a VHS." And Dad would be in the middle of the video barn going, "We're not getting a fucking VHS." but the Dark Crystal was on beta.
It was.
Yeah.
It was on beta. And you guys came over for the night and you stayed the night. So your parents must have been doing something exciting.
No,
Yes, I guarantee it. Let's
Yeah.
not go there.
Ew.
no, come on, man. Oh, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, day, mate. Fucking drop the mic. I'm done.
Fuck this podcast.
Fuck this podcast.
Anyway, you came over and we got to make lamingtons. That was so exciting.
I don't remember this.
I remember the Lamingtons.
Mum made lamingtons from scratch.
When would this be? 82, 83, I
I
reckon.
don't know. No,
Because Dark Crystal came out in 82.
No.
This was way after that.
It was a long time after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Long, because I remember this. So 82, I'd be 1, so I wouldn't be remembering.
Yeah,
it.
I was only 3.
But it was in the 80s. I'm telling you now, it was in the 80s.
Yeah, but it would have been later.
late 80s.
Like 88, 89.
Something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. And yeah, we watched The Dark Crystal.
The range
We
of
had
Betamax
Lamington.
movies didn't change that much between 82 and 89.
No, they had nothing in the 90s.
Would have still
No.
been the same half dozen to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
back to your story.
No, that's it.
Oh, that was the story.
That was the story. No, we had Lamingtons and we watched The Dark Crystal. And I was so excited because Daniel and Jason are sleeping over and we get Lamingtons and we get to watch a video. None of these things
But had you seen the Dark Crystal before?
No, that was the
then?
first time I saw it. And I was piss frightened.
Yeah, it was scary.
So
It was actually
scared.
scary because it was the Skeksis.
Dark
They
Crystal.
were scary. The Skeksis.
The Skeksis was
Yeah.
so scary.
Remember the
For a
Lord
kid.
Chamberlain? And he used to go.
There's no way the Dark Crystal was as scary as E.T., so...
Come on.
I absolutely fucking hated E.T.
Really?
And it was such a big thing that every present you got from anyone who didn't know you involved E.T.
It's such a boring fucking movie and such a bad video game.
No, it's just the start of
Oh,
it
it's
where they're all
terrible.
crashing through the bush with lights and guns and shit and...
You
Yeah,
didn't
no,
like.
I didn't enjoy that at all. And then, yeah, so I've had to put up with E.T. stuff pretty much for the next 3 years. And
I remember going to the movies with Mum to watch E.T. and Mum started crying, no bullshit, at the end of it.
Of course she did.
And I turned around to her. This is me, and I've turned around to her and I've gone, "Are you crying, Mum?"
I guarantee you didn't say, "Yeah, you fucking."
I did.
crying."
No. I said, "Are you crying, Mum?" And Mum's like, "I think it's beautiful that he's found his way home," or something like this. And I'm like, "Mum, you're kidding me."
how did she feel about Mac and Me?
No, I don't know about that one, but you know that movie Marley and Me? They can't watch that.
No.
I asked Dad about that, and he goes, "Oh, your mother and I can't watch it. We burst into tears." I'm like,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
watched it and I burst into tears.
Oh,
And
my-
I'm not.
That's like the Futurama dog episode.
I haven't seen that."
You haven't seen
No.
it? Well, it might be better if you don't. That's probably the saddest thing ever made.
Is it?
What is it?
The dog episode on Futurama.
Oh, yes, that's very sad.
Yeah.
It makes Steve very sad every time he watches it.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't watch it anymore.
You got a motion spit roast.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't funny like Marley and Me. Jennifer Aniston's dog died.
Oh.
Spoiler.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, everyone knows the damn dog. That's like Old Yeller saying that's a spoiler.
I got a story about Old Yeller.
I don't
Here we
wanna-
go. Is this Roll It Monkeys?
Roll it, monkeys! All right, you ready for this?
I'm never ready for this.
Please, Mel,
Are you ready for this?
please tell me Old Yeller's not a euphemism.
No bullshit.
Yes.
1984. We used to have the same teacher that had the cannonball go through the side of his car. This poor prick got demoralised. I'm telling you now. But this same teacher, he was actually a really, really good teacher.
Until
Right.
he walked away.
Until he walked away with a cannonball in the side of his
He
car.
quit teaching pretty
Yeah.
quickly after that.
Yeah, you know what? You're ready for this? I dropped the microphone.
Oh, dude.
No, he used to have this thing where if you answered a question, he used to bring in, and it wouldn't happen today, I'm sure, but he brings in his own toys and his own books and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he called it the activity area. And what he was trying to do was motivate kids to like answer questions correctly. So he's a bit of a pioneer, this guy. So if he asked you a question like, I don't know, what's 2 plus 2? I'd probably say 4.5 because I don't fucking know.
No, you wouldn't have said halves, so you don't get fractions.
I don't get anything.
Oh my God, Daniel.
He's gassed out the fucking room. Jesus, there's only a finite amount of air in this studio.
This might be a very short podcast.
How are you going to shit your pants?
I've been drinking a lot of kombucha.
Oh, stop it.
I've been drinking a lot of kombucha. You have to get closer to the microphone.
I don't want to.
Anyway, he would say, go and grab a toy or a book or whatever it is if you've answered the question correctly. So 1984, year 4, that was a pretty normal thing to do. But he had a book that he really treasured that he'd bought in out of his own library, I'm sure, and it was Old Yeller. Well, let me tell you about what happened to Old Yeller.
Well, we all know what happened to Old Yeller.
What happened in this for this book as well? Because what happened was somebody. I can't remember the person, but I can remember the situation. Someone was answered a question correctly and picked up Old Yeller as a book, but they scrunched up the pages. And they were afraid of what was going to happen. So they hid the Old Yeller book somewhere somewhere in the classroom, and he couldn't find it. And so the teacher lost his mind. And he went around going, "Where's Old Yeller? Where's Old Yeller?" And then it disappeared for a day. And he's like, "Well, if anyone knows where Old Yeller is, put it back now. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny." So the next day,
This poor fuck left teaching.
oh mate, it gets fucking better. So what happened was the kid who hit it felt pretty guilty about it, and he put it back because he rearranged the classroom, and part of the classroom was his play area. So he put the kid put the book back in the play area. So the next day, the teacher's gone to look at the activity center that he'd created. That's what he used to call it, the activity center. And he went into into where it was, and he's found the book, and it was all scrunched up and fucked. A bit like my Mr. Men books you placed behind the fucking toilet door that time. That's another story.
Mr. Men books.
Well, I had a whole selection, and this fuckwit bloody ruined them.
Kate did that to me.
Yeah, so you know what it's like to have a younger sibling.
I do.
It's
I
a
do.
bitch.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. The teachers found Old Yeller, and it's all scrunched up, and I'm not making this up. It's beautiful. Now, it wasn't funny at the time. It's actually pretty frightening because he lost it.
Yeah.
But now it's funny. He's picked up this book like this, and he's gone, "Who did this to Old Yeller? Who did it? Come forward. Just answer me why you would do it to Old Yeller. Why would you do this? That was my book. Old Yeller." I can't believe it. The school I went to was fucked. This teacher had a meltdown, and I'm like, and that same year, oh no, he's gone too.
Dude, really? I can't.
We're gonna need gas masks. We should call this. We should call it. We should call this. We need to call this. We need to call this the farting episode.
Oh,
Episodes.
Oh, God, I can't help it.
Oh, this is a pretty bad one, though. I think what's happening is the lamb roast is starting to ferment with all the other bullshit in my guts.
Lovely.
Yeah.
No, again, Dad used to go to another room.
Get the wrong
Yeah, but we
family.
never did that.
We never
No,
did that.
but Dad used to do it all the time. The only thing was he used to go somewhere and you could still fucking
Do you know what was
hear
funny?
Our dad would just be walking
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
That was the case.
You know what the funny thing
Being
was?
fit.
You know what the funny thing was? Once in a blue moon, Mum would drop her guts, right?
That's
And I was like, "What, girls fart too?"
Ah, yeah.
She goes, "Of course we do." I go, "Okay." And we would go, "Mum, that's disgusting. Oh, we wanted her to throw up." We were like, "Oh, Mum, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, your father does it all the time, and you kids do it all the time. Now it's my turn."
Yes.
Equality.
That's right, equality in emissions.
Equality emissions.
Yeah, but,
We've got a pretty high carbon
it's like the
footprint.
Queef sisters.
Oh, the queef.
Queef.
Don't start me with the queefing.
It's funny. I'm sorry, but if anyone says queefing's not funny, then I don't want to be friends with them. It's the same thing.
I'm just jealous. That's all it is.
What are you jealous for?
To have that much power.
You produce plenty of power on your own. I've seen it.
Your carbon footprint is significant.
It has been. That was pretty bad, man. I blame the kombucha. It ferments.
Stop drinking it. It's not good for you.
It is, man.
It's rotting your insides. I can smell it.
Who gives a fuck? But you know what? Another story relates. I'll tell you another story about the toilet trough at fucking work. It was the place of shame because I never one day when I was in there, and again, old mate used to follow me, and I'm fucking suspicious about that bloke now that I think of it, the retro skater. And I went in there, and I dropped my guts. You know what he did? He chased me in the main office with a fucking Glen 20 air freshener, and he sprayed my ass so much that
There's a wet patch?
No, it went white foam all over. It was like this white foam, and guess what? The fucking the MD of the whole place says to me,
Oh my god.
Did you do another one? Oh fuck, this is bad.
That one was accidental.
John, did you shit yourself?
No. I was laughing so hard.
Oh,
I got
Dave's
caught.
got a good story
I
about
got
that.
caught into the office with white foam on my pants, and he says, "What are those white? What's that? What's that on your pants?" And I said, "The retro skater sprayed me with it." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I dropped my guts in the toilet." He says, "You guys need to start acting like managers." I go, "Well, all bets are off when you're in the fucking toilet. All bets are off."
Man.
What's your story? Spit roast?
My story was really a Lisa story.
No.
Did you quit? Oh no.
Come on. Please. I don't have a lower
No,
half.
it's not.
Oh, that's right. You're neutral.
It's just a patch of skin.
Now,
yeah.
now is not the time for the bleeding calf. But have you ever tried the bleeding calf?
What are you talking about?
Well, you've never done the bleeding calf. It's a Kama Sutra position
Okay.
where the lady is doubled over, and the gentleman comes in from behind, and as he impacts and retracts,
Yes.
it's sort of makes up. And it was allegedly like the bleating of a calf. But that's a different story
Oh, Jesus.
for another time.
For another time. Oh, fucking hell. It's gone off the rails, this podcast. I don't even think we can upload this up. I don't think we can put this up.
Yeah, we can. What's your point?
Oh, yeah, I don't suppose we get...
Okay, come on.
This might be a quick one because I think that last part was an indication of what's going to happen.
This is the next train
Might
down
have
the
to,
line.
might have to tap this one on the head before we need you.
The Dark Crystal, you know they're doing supposedly a new movie.
Is it a prequel or a sequel?
I actually don't know, but I believe it's a Netflix movie.
Or is it
Yeah.
just remaking it?
No,
No, it's not a remake, no.
What that shits me is when they just remake an old movie
That's like
There's a lot of that.
exactly the same.
Yeah,
Just
like
new
Carrie.
actors.
Why did we need to remake Carrie?
Yeah, I mean,
Not necessarily.
Not
there's
necessarily.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's been
That
this-
was worse. That remake was terrible.
I didn't watch.
The original was actually a much scarier movie than the
Well, they remade Red Dawn.
yeah.
What was wrong with the original Red Dawn?
That didn't make sense why they did that.
But it's not adding anything to it. Or
That's because the current youth don't know the original movies, so they've gone, "Well, there's an easy market there. Let's just
Yeah, we don't need
rehash. Let's rehash a
What do you mean they
storyline."
don't know it? They didn't destroy the 1984 version, and then they did Tomorrow When the War Began, which was pretty much exactly Red Dawn as well, just with what's her face? The good-looking one who has a website where she gets her gear off.
That's a site I want to go to.
She was in Neighbours. It's a feminist website. I was never so interested in feminism in my life.
Not that Holly Valance chick.
No,
She was on Neighbours.
Yeah, she was Holly
she
Valance.
was,
yeah.
but no, she's got her own story. She shacked up with some bloody
very rich
billionaire or
bloke,
something,
yeah.
didn't she?
Well, she's
What's
disappeared.
Caitlin Stacey.
Who?
Who's that?
You don't know who Caitlin Stacey?
I didn't watch Neighbours.
Yeah, you did.
I was more of a Home and Away kid. Fuck
Oh,
off.
yeah. Oh, Neighbours
I can
all the
honestly
way.
say I've never watched an episode of Home and Away.
I did. With,
I've actually met one of the actors from Home and Away and still didn't watch it.
really?
I don't think he watched it either.
Why would you?
I think he could probably honestly say he performed in more episodes of it than he watched.
I watched it when it was Tom and Pepper and Sally, and that was it. And that after
Yeah.
that, I never really watched. We never really watched that shit. You know why? Because in the house you lived in fear. Because if Dad would catch you watching shit, he'd come in and go, "What the fuck you watching that shit for?"
Here's one. Whatever happened to Hey Hey It's Saturday? Because that's a show we all enjoyed together.
That came back, and then it went off.
Yeah, it came back. And
Yeah,
then
they
it went
took it off
What's
when
Daryl Summers doing these
they
days?
took it off when it was very
He did.
popular and brought it back
Giving
when it wasn't.
blowjobs under a bridge somewhere. Really want to cut that.
Anything's possible.
Plug it up, plug it up.
Fuck a duck, fuck a duck. It's not a chicken or
Or a cow.
Fuck a duck, fuck him right now.
That's it. Daryl and Plucker under a bridge.
They brought that back very, very briefly.
It was one episode, wasn't it?
No, they brought it back
they tried to.
They tried to.
They didn't
Hell,
get.
that
They
show
didn't get
went for
hours.
ages. It was
years
hours.
and
Wasn't
went
years
for
and years. It was like 3 hours.
It was like a
or something.
3-hour show every
Well, it was
week.
Hey Hey Saturday, and
Then it was midweek.
Hey Hey Saturday night, and then they brought it back to the day, and then just when it was going gangbusters, like a few of the critics got into it, so they sacked it, and it was rating really well. But then a few years later, when that sort of thing sort of died in the arse, they tried to bring it back, and because the specials were going okay, I think these,
Nostalgia.
but that was kind of
But variety shows are almost dead, really.
Yeah.
well the
The
They're
US
probably
try
quite
and do it, but
expensive
even
to
there,
produce, that's why.
the variety show is now merged into the competition show, like say Australia's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or whichever country has talent.
no one's got talent. Let's face it.
Yeah, well, Australia
No one on
certainly
those
doesn't.
shows.
My Kitchen Rules. What a fucking waste of space that show is.
Why?
That's another one I can honestly say I've never watched an
Yep,
entire
me
episode.
too.
I've watched about 5
I've never
minutes
watched
of
one episode.
I've not seen an entire episode.
It is nonsensical. It makes no. It is just garbage.
All
It
I
is-
noted is that people like to talk about it and that it seems to go for about 11 months of the year.
Here's one.
It's longer than football season.
Like there's a show, and I've never seen it. I don't know what it is. Married at First Sight.
I've never seen an
Why
episode. We
would
were
you
just
watch
talking
that?
about this on the way
But
down.
for fuck's sake, on my news, like I'm trying to read the news off
if you're
paper.
on-
based-
It's all over
It's
it.
fucking everywhere.
If you're
I'm
on
like,
whatever they
what?
call 9MSN now, that it's basically the
Yeah.
Married at First Sight portal.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like I don't know. All I want to do is read the fucking news, and
Yep.
all I see is news about what was happening to such and such. It's like, what the absolute living fuck is
Some
this
It's
shit?
so
idiot
annoying,
does
yeah.
something stupid and somehow that's news.
And they thread it into other news articles, so you'll be reading something that you think's a legitimate article, and then it's actually referring back to this episode of this show. It's like,
Where such and such was abusive to such and such,
like,
and
I'm
now
not-
she's had her lips done.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never said, but we were just saying, like, I feel I was coming down. We were driving down here, and I was saying to Steve, I feel like I'm missing out on some massive cultural fucking revolution. But I just, because everyone's talking about it, and it's all throughout the media, and it's on every news
I
site,
couldn't
and
tell you
all
one
that
thing
sort of
about
shit.
it.
But I
Not one
cannot
thing.
bring myself to watch an episode because I think it's such
But
shit.
I couldn't even tell you what you're talking about. I don't even look at the news, period. Fuck the news. I like ignorance is bliss.
No, you listen to Infowars.com.
Well, that's where you find the truth about interdimensional aliens.
Oh my
Speaking
God.
of lizards
Yep,
and lizard men,
yep.
Yes.
now your father.
Yes. I love him, but
Oh,
yes.
He makes, I tell you now, Super Mario makes our dad look pretty normal.
So-
he's
at
insane.
times,
We
yeah.
know he's insane.
So
Yeah.
hilariously, he's gone from eating 7 chops in one sitting.
They were only a mouthful.
They were only a mouthful.
I'm sorry, I don't see anything remarkable about that.
No, from that
No,
to
actually,
to being such a vegan that he is now.
he eats fish.
No, he's not a vegan.
Well, he's close enough.
No, he's
Close enough.
no, he's just watching what he's eating.
He's close enough.
He's a
To now
what do they
being-
call it? A fish and hypocrite.
No, because he'll eat pork occasionally. Fish and chip grit.
Fish and chip hypocrite.
Yeah, no. It's for health, I think, rather than.
No, it's not for moral reasons. God knows everyone hates animals, but
I love him.
no, he alleges that these certain things are healthy that I find very difficult to believe.
For
Well, he
example.
practically lives on cat food. It's.
Sardines. He likes sardines.
He likes sardines.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them too, within reason.
Again.
Yeah, you're pretty far away from the mic.
But
How's
he
that?
eats pretty much
That'll
nothing.
work on
That and cold spinach.
uncomfortable. Cold what?
Cold spinach.
Oh, I love that shit though.
Yeah, but is that what he eats?
It's leftovers. Like when he comes to, like when he's been helping out on the house at our place, he brings leftovers.
But what's this bullshit about a lizard?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so
Yeah, with the lizard already.
when I was there, was it last week? A couple of weeks ago, I kind of lost track of time.
only
He's gone
last
from
week.
being the man that I remember in my youth of being able to smash down 7 chops to now the protector of lizards. So the story is
He's just fattening it up.
he stumbled across a somewhat damaged lizard who had lost its tail, who had a bit of a wonky eye, and who would otherwise be, bird food.
An
at this point.
ex-lizard. Yeah.
An ex-lizard at this point.
What type of lizard is it? You know?
I think
Is it
it's
a
like
big
one of
one?
those little skink ones. It's
It's a
like a
skink.
it's a little
Okay.
skink.
So it's something endangered.
That's right. There's not many of them.
For people not from Australia, there's about 10 billion skinks in this nation.
That's right. There's more skinks than sheep, and that's a lot of
there's-
fucking sheep.
Yeah.
They're not even a particularly pleasant lizard.
No, they're
Like,
just a
they
piece of
don't,
shit.
They don't smell very
They're
good.
designed. No, they're basically
They
designed
get into
to be
everything.
bird food, right?
Yeah.
So he's spotted this lizard who is looking rather poorly, and he's now nursing it back to health.
The poor people listening on Spotify can't quite see the microphone between Lisa's boobs at the moment.
It can't stretch any further. I can't make it stretch any further, Captain.
But it's getting more and more wonky.
Oh, the table is fucked.
Some people would be tempted to move their chair
No, I'm
and just get
comfortable
closer.
now.
It's like the arm cannot extend any further.
Oh, fuck, I'm fucking killing myself. She's been sitting there the whole time. The microphone just keeps
Look,
moving.
it's perfectly positioned now. You can all
Perfect.
shut up.
Leave it alone. It's fine. So yeah, he's now built an enclosure. An enclosure that is portable, has all of the necessities that a skink could otherwise need, including fresh water, food. Who knows what the fuck these things eat, but he's figured it out. And he talks to it on a regular basis. So we were there waiting to go to a restaurant with Grandma, as you do. And we were waiting for our uncle, who will remain nameless.
Super Mario is
probably a good
yeah.
one. For about half an hour, while he tended to the somewhat disabled skink.
Special needs skink.
Special needs skink, right? So that's where he's at right now with the lizard.
It's better than the rat. You knew about the rat.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did the same thing for a rat, didn't he?
Well, no, he didn't build an enclosure for the rat, but he left food out for it because he didn't want it to eat his vegetables, and then it became
A pet.
kind of a pet. And, Mum used to sit out the back.
It's a fucking rat.
And watch this rat just run across the back like, got you sorted.
So we've got a possum here who we don't feed the possum.
Yeah.
But with possums, if they get injured, legally you have to bring them back to their exact same place that you found the possum. Because apparently if you remove them like more than 100 meters or so, they're very high probability that they won't survive. So we've got a regular visitor here. So every night at midnight, almost on the dot, you hear on the corrugated roof, doof, 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 doof. And then if it's a rainy day, you hear a shh. As it fucking slides and falls off the roof, and then goes doosh on the deck as it hits the deck every single night, guaranteed. And then we've seen the possum a few times. He is the fattest fuck I've ever seen. This brushed out possum, mate, he is a tank.
Wow.
So clearly he's well fed. I don't know where he's getting his food from. I don't. What have you found, Dan?
I'm looking up the Dark Crystal remake. It's called The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. And it's coming out this year. It's on Netflix.
That's a Netflix special, all right?
Yeah, and
Is it a sequel or a prequel?
TV series.
Oh.
And what are they saying about it?
Is it all like the original sort of puppetry?
It says
shit?
returns to the world of... the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance returns to the world of Thra. That was where the Dark Crystal was obviously based. I didn't know that shit. Where three gelflings discover the horrifying... secrets behind the Skeksis' power and set out to ignite the fires of rebellion and save their world. So it seems like it's all happening.
Right.
Goodo.
Good. Oh, that sounds fascinating and enthralling and all that.
And I was fucking right.
Brought to you by the Dark Crystal Advisory
The
Council.
the series premiered 36 years after the release of the Dark Crystal back in 1982. I was fucking right.
Well, there you go.
No one argued that it was made in
No, we weren't
1982. They
watching
just
it.
What we
argued
were
it was
arguing
watching
is that we weren't old enough. We weren't yet old enough to have been there
It
in
was
1982.
probably just come out on Betamax when we saw it.
Yeah. Look,
Or it was the last remaining video on
Because
Betamax.
Jason
been
was
nil.
around, so there was no
Oh no,
way
I
it was
was
82.
definitely around.
And so
No,
was Kate.
Yeah, and if Kate was around, then it was well into the 90s.
She was born in 85.
85. I reckon it was like late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s.
it's a
potentially.
prequel.
It's prequel.
It's a prequel.
Yes.
So this Age of Resistance or whatever it is a prequel to the original Dark Crystal movie.
That'll be exciting.
Is it going to be as good as the Star Wars prequels were?
Oh, fuck Star... fuck. Oh, Star Wars.
Because God knows I can't get enough of Hans Christian Andersen's acting. It was,
Spectacular.
him and He really did have the emotional gamut from A to
But
B.
does it
didn't he?
look
He was,
like he's actually reading the script for the first time when he acts? Because that's the way I see it.
Look, I'm going to be on record and say the Star Wars prequels.
Star Wars is just dead.
When Natalie
Stop.
Portman was in.
And don't get me wrong, I love Natalie Portman. She's very
No,
very,
but at the
very
time
attractive.
she was in the prequels.
Yeah.
I think it was the Attack of the Clones, the second movie. I was saying her career is dead because her acting performance in that was terrible. But obviously she's gone on to bigger and better things.
I thought
I don't think you can blame her for that.
No, she had nothing to work
That
with.
was her. That was just the way that she was directed to act. You know, she was doing the part of.
But she had the content was terrible.
there was
Wouldn't
not a
matter.
lot to work with.
No.
So that wasn't her fault. But
No, God, no,
but
yeah.
I felt that she was like I would
just horrible. That was
it
just
was-
horrible.
yeah.
It was good to see Hans Christian Andersen retired after that.
What is his actual name?
That is
it's
Hans. What's his name? What's his name?
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden. But it was he was terrible.
Yeah, he was. It was awful.
He was terrible in that.
He wasn't good looking enough to carry off awful.
No, that's more Keanu Reeves' thing.
Whoa.
Can't knock Keanu Reeves though. He's a legitimately good person. So
Yeah,
he can be as a fucked actor as
sure
he
he's-
wants to be.
But
Yeah.
what's that?
I'm sure he remembers birthdays and anniversaries.
What's
but
that movie?
No, he's
Point Break.
No, the new ones that he does where
Actually,
he's
Point Break was another one they remade.
They
for no
did remake
particular
that.
that
for
was
no reason.
stupid. That remake.
Why would you remake it? I haven't
That
seen it.
remake was terrible. What was that movie that he did with the latest movie that he did? Ah, fuck! There's two of them, and he kicks ass in them.
Not The Matrix.
No, not the Matrix.
Because that was stupid too.
That was Wick. John Wick. The first John Wick movie was great. The second one was pretty average in my opinion. But Keanu Reeves is not a bad guy. He does lots of charity.
Mate, he's a dead set fucking legend.
Yeah, he is. And in all everything that he does in John Wick, where he's just a badass, he does all the stunts in that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the first one's
John
good.
Wick is a great movie.
The first one's good. The second one's not.
No, I like the second one.
I thought it was a little silly.
No, if you turn your brain off, it's great.
Yeah, but I want to be intellectual in my old age.
Come on, John Wick, get
Says
fucked.
the bloke carrying on about a dark crystal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, fuck me.
Don't laugh at the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, so no, Keanu does a staggering amount for charity, but he does it in secrecy. Like he donates, he's got his own little foundation that really sponsors charities secretly. He doesn't really advertise that he's doing this stuff. I actually met him, so I got to meet him when they were filming The Matrix. I was managing a store in the city at that point in time, and he came into the store with his very small entourage, and he came in and he bought some trinkets, some Australian stuff, because I was with the Australian Geographic at the time.
Yeah, right.
And there at Centrepoint, I don't think it's there anymore. If it is, it's moved.
He
He came in.
He'd know Kevin Bacon, wouldn't he?
Surely.
Let me
2 degrees.
Well, that's 1 degree of Kevin Bacon.
Well, yeah, 1 degree.
If you actually know Kevin Bacon, that's 0 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
Pedro and I used to give out
1 degree of Kevin Bacon. I wonder. So
That
that
makes
that's
us 2
2
degrees.
degrees of
Let-
Kevin Bacon.
let
Because I
me-
was previously the best I could come up with.
let me tell you about Kevin Bacon. Pedro and I used to give out Kevin Bacon awards because we used to think Kevin Bacon was shit, and we used to for mediocrity.
Just because he made Hollow Man.
Yeah, because mediocrity.
that's
So if you did something mediocre, you'd say
Kevin Bacon.
get a Kevin Bacon award.
But Hollow Man, come on.
That really. Actually, has there been an actor that's played a pedophile more times than Kevin Bacon?
That's a good question.
Well, he was. Well, actually, he wasn't a pedophile in Hollow Man. He was a rapist. But
He played a weird
It's an
guy,
played one
important
in
distinction.
pedo in Sleepers. He played a pedo in The Woodsman.
and I dare say he played one in JFK because wasn't he in jail?
I
for
didn't
something
see, I
in
didn't
JFK.
see JFK.
Yeah, so in JFK he was an informant, and he was in jail, and Kevin Costner's
People
character.
do go to jail for other things, though.
Yeah, I know, but he was in jail.
Occasionally.
Parking
Occasionally.
violations.
A lot of parking
Okay, let's
violations.
assume he was in jail for a parking violation, but he was in jail.
Is JFK like a 7-hour movie? Because that's how I remember
Yeah,
it.
it's longer than this bullshit podcast, and fucking twice as boring.
I just saw the length of the tape and thought, nah, I can.
Mate, I went to the book. What do you call it? The book
Depository.
in Dallas, and it's a lot smaller than you think it is.
It's also a lot closer than you
And
think it is.
no joke, when you're in there, because they've actually rigged it to the nth degree. They've got the original boxes that were in the
Yeah.
in that
It's a
particular
museum
floor.
piece now, really.
Yeah, and they show where
And you got the cross on the
Oswald
street.
was located, and when you look at it, you can go, you know what?
It's actually doable.
It's
Right.
doable. He actually did have a shot on JFK.
It's not as far as you think it is.
No. And
Why don't they just run Donald Trump up and down there and let people test the theory?
I'd like,
It's a never-ending parade.
I think there'd be a lot of people lining up.
around, sir.
Well, you know,
Another lap. One lap.
sir.
He respects people's right to own guns.
the grassy knoll is really, really close to the Daily Plaza where the motorcade went past, and that's also doable. When you look at that, you go, you know what? They had a shot there as well, and so it puts all this down in your mind when you visit there. You go, you know what? Lee Harvey Oswald, it's possible, it's doable that he had a shot at him, but it would have had to have been at a certain point at a certain time when the motorcade went past that building.
Well, yes.
But you know how in certain, but
It'd be pretty difficult
No,
if it was a different time.
Different day, different week.
but what I'm saying
Not in
is,
that car.
At pitch darkness.
but you know what I'm saying is how a lot of the conspiracy theories said that he didn't have a shot,
No, he did because they've
but he
clearly not
did.
fucking
If you
been
go
there.
to that building, he did.
It's like flat earthers. That's because they've never been in a fucking airplane.
Have you seen that?
Or even looked at
Beyond
a
the Curve?
horizon.
No, I haven't, but I love the flat earthers. I think they're
have you seen
fucking
it?
insane.
Which one?
It's called Beyond the Curve. It's on Netflix at the moment.
Yeah, there's a show about flat earthers. Yeah, I remember
and
seeing that.
it
Yeah.
follows them around. And God, these people are fucking idiots.
Well,
But they believe it.
It's just where people flatly deny science to protect their beliefs in the
But this-
Christian creation.
yeah,
myth.
there's a-
It's just
For me, it's more. This had to have started as a joke on Reddit somewhere, and it just smells like it was a joke because
Because-
someone was taking the piss, and then someone's picked that up and gone,
well, it's on the internet, so it must be
"It
true.
must be true," and then they started.
But
their
people
own
are
thing.
so they want to believe everything is a conspiracy.
I mean, it's how the fuck is the moon round and we're not?
Because isn't it flat when you drive in your car? Isn't it flat?
One of my favorite. This is really awesome.
I've got a good one. Yeah, you
Yeah,
go.
it's it's amazing how the universe does this, and every other planet is a sphere, and we're just this little disc.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a I kid you not, I'll pull it up later. There's a YouTube video out there of a guy explaining conclusively how
This is who this show follows.
yes, conclusively how the Earth has to be flat. And what he does is get an Earth that's about this scale.
Yeah.
So I'm holding basically a softball sized
For the two people that are
for
listening.
the two people that are listening. Then he gets an aeroplane which is not to scale, like significantly so, and he's like, see, if it went like this, it would be upside down. And he's explaining this in full legitimacy. It's like, but he goes, you see, it has to be flat or you'd be flying upside down.
Well, they make this argument that a pilot has to make an adjustment of 8 inches every 12 minutes downward. That's one of their big arguments. Otherwise, you'd just be going straight over the edge.
It's like, yeah, nah.
And they're like, and what pilot is going to be making an 8-inch adjustment? This is how we know the Earth is flat. It's like, you dickheads. I mean, it's
What's on the underside?
what.
Elephants.
So it's just incredible. But there's this
Elephants
other one.
holding it up.
But they've
This
got a
world
big
star.
movement now. The
Oh,
flat
it's a
earthers.
huge movement,
They're-
and you watch this thing on Netflix. But one of the they did this. There's these two guys, and they're actually quite intelligent sounding guys, and they get these. They're doing these two experiments to try and prove that the Earth is flat. And one of them is I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a what are they? Anyway, look it up. It's an instrument.
What are we looking up? We're trying to work that out.
It's an instrument, and basically,
instrument.
it's like if it's moving in a certain direction, if the Earth was flat, you would get 0 degrees rotation on this thing. If it's a sphere, you'd expect to see 15 degrees. And so they paid something like 20 grand for this instrument thing, expecting it to be 0, and they unfortunately got 15-degree rotation. And when sort of going, oh no, how do we get out of this? The thing must be faulty. Let's buy another one.
As long as it's costing them $20,000 a time.
Makes me happy.
Yeah, go nuts.
You know what their big argument is with the flat Earth is that they don't believe that the images that NASA supply with the Earth in space.
Yeah.
That because it is true that NASA does some CG cleansing of the image that they get
Yeah.
from
For
all of
marketing
their...
purposes.
But
Yeah.
they do tamper with the photo.
they've
So
been-
what
they've been caught with their
what
pants
their
down.
argument is, the flat earthers is that you've tampered that photograph that you've taken with your satellites and all the other stuff that we
Yeah.
don't believe that the Earth is flat in the first place. So how do we believe you? Because you're tampering with the original
Well, one
source.
of the big flat earthers is a previous NASA artist. So he has this big, ranty thing that we've all been taken in by this awful thing. And he was someone that did all the enhancement of the NASA photo.
Sounds like somebody who wants attention more
hugely.
than
You
That's
should
what I
see
think,
it.
yeah.
It's frightening. But yeah, I mean, they're just fucking idiots.
Easy way to get attention. Previously, I've worked at NASA.
Yeah.
Now look at me. I don't believe in this thing.
And the
Yeah.
bins were never emptier.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was an amazing janitor.
That was an amazing check.
I love all these conspiracy theories like JFK.
I love a good conspiracy theory.
The JFK one, the flat Earth one is a new one, but it's got
What about Hollow Earth? That's another one that's currently.
what? There's nothing in the middle of the Earth.
There's nothing in the middle of the Earth, and the Germans have known about that since the war.
So
and
that
the
don't-
entryway is in Antarctica, so they believe that they all escaped, like Hitler and all the above escaped.
But that's just so bullshit stupid. That doesn't even make
I'm just,
sense.
I don't.
I know,
believe
I
it
know.
either. I'm just saying that's a theory that's out
but really, I mean, that's one you could test by just digging a hole
Exactly
there.
right.
A very large hole.
that eventually empties into nothing.
Why don't you just fly over Antarctica and have a
I mean,
look?
look, I must admit, some science confuses me. Like when they say, the center of the Earth is molten iron cores. How do you know?
We've only, what's the deepest we've ever dug? Like 12 kilometres.
Yeah, I mean, we've never got anywhere near the damn core. Although there could be giraffes down there. I don't know, but
They'd be very heavily condensed giraffes.
I love the latest theory that they don't believe in space.
How's that possible?
They reckon space is bullshit. You might Google this. They reckon there's a whole group of people. They're also associated with the flat earthers.
Oh, they think it's a dome.
They
think we're
reckon
under a dome.
they reckon that
but that's the old Ptolemaic model of the Earth.
they reckon
The
that
Christians used to love it because in the Ptolemaic model, the Earth was in the center. You're in a big dome sort of thing, and the stars were just pinholes of light coming from heaven. And yeah, the Christians liked it because it left plenty of room for heaven and hell.
Basically,
which they
people have just
enjoyed.
read too many Discworld novels.
I want to know how I can make money out of flat earthers.
I just want to know how to make money
Well,
out of some
apparently they'll pay
bullshit
20
church.
cents.
The Church of Flat Earth.
it just goes back to what we wanted to do.
Start a cult.
Start a cult.
We didn't talk about that
No.
properly. We do need to start a cult. So we need like there's got to be a
What are the ingredients to start a cult?
distinctive hairstyle or hat.
Well, I'm fucked. I've got no hair.
and or hat.
I got
do a
plenty
hat.
of hats. Yep.
Yeah.
Kangol hats.
Yep.
Nondescript clothing though. So,
Well, no, actually,
Do invert the white t-shirts count?
you could do hair and just say you, like, part of the thing is you must have more of it on your ass than you do on your head. Like,
Easy.
yeah.
Easy.
Oh, I'm out. I saw that look, you asshole.
Planet 9 will kill us. That's another one.
What's Planet 9?
You don't know about it. What's the? There's another name for it. There's a belief that there's another planet out there that sort of in a rotation that will come
Yeah,
close to
there's-
Earth and it's gonna fuck up gravity and it's gonna switch our poles and all sorts of shit.
But is it not entirely possible that our telescopes aren't strong enough to see planets that exist in our solar system?
They think that there are other objects out there.
Yeah, but we
potentially
just
another
can't see
planet,
it.
But just not a killer
But they'd
planet
have
that's
to
the size of the
see
sun.
it in our solar system. It's not that far away. It's
Yeah,
It's in
I
the
just
backyard.
I don't know. I mean, I just wonder if it's
Here we go.
what
Nibiru.
Nibiru.
Yeah, there's a killer planet known as that's one that was interesting because it sort of reared its ugly head at the end of last year or the year before, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna come back this year and we're all fucked." And then it didn't
isn't that
happen.
what Avatar was set on?
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was
it sounds like
What did you call Avatar?
Oh, that was
Braveheart for Smurfs.
Braveheart for Smurfs. Yeah.
I actually think that's pretty accurate.
They'll never take
that wasn't an original movie at all.
Avatar.
No, that was cowboys and Indians and
What isn't these days?
space cats.
Yeah.
I like this
Space
one.
Cat.
I'll tell you what is original:
Oh. What?
the fucking Dark Crystal.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it was the first time around.
There was. Well, no, this is a prequel.
It's a prequel.
It's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch it.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
Who's we?
You go away for the weekend or something.
Yeah, we can watch it. And, and you know what?
You can do your
And
own
you know
thing.
what? We'll make lamingtons.
Yes!
I can make lamingtons.
Yes, you have to make lamingtons.
All right,
Yeah,
done.
I can make fucking awesome lamingtons.
Fucking done.
You know what?
What?
That's a show right there. We could do it like what's that? Google Box.
Oh, Gogglebox.
Gogglebox?
Yeah.
All right, I want to.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll watch it and we'll record ourselves watching it going, this is just fucking shit.
All right.
Let's face it.
My
that's what's
childhood
gonna happen.
memories are ruined.
It's ruined. It's all your fault.
So let me
that
ask you.
hairy-assed bald prick talked me into watching this.
So let me ask you 2 questions before we finish up this bullshit podcast for this bullshit weekend where I've worked my ass off.
Oh, God, it's so hard.
I haven't had a rant yet, you guys. Oh, Danny hasn't had a rant.
Can we get Veseslava Todorova just to do a bit for him?
Is she good looking?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, no, Steve wouldn't know. Steve hasn't spent hours YouTubing the woman. No, he's
he would
married.
Fucking know.
Yeah.
He's had his pants off.
Apparently cello is sexy.
I just enjoy the music.
I think you're
I'm
full
actually
of bullshit.
Can I tell you? I'm fucking blown away what you've told me about that today because I would never have picked him listening to that type of music.
Oh, no, I know. You catch him occasionally doing something
Hi,
classy.
Vessi.
Do you think we landed on the moon?
I don't think we did when we did. I think we might have subsequently.
Then when did we do it?
The first time we didn't do it. I don't think we did it.
I agree with you. I don't think we did it the first time, but we have done it.
I think in that whole race to beat Russia out
Yep.
of getting there, that was maybe enhanced a little bit.
No, I think they did it when they said they did it. Like,
Yeah.
there's- I don't. Well, they reckon what you can shine a light on the moon and bounce.
There's a
it back.
reflector on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, unless the reflector, what do you FedEx it up there? Or someone's gone and taken the damn thing up there, so otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
just,
that surely.
I think. I'll tell you what I think now. I think they may have easily been, not so much on the moon, but they went on the moon, but they filmed it after they got back on Earth, to show that they had it because they had issues with radiation with the film back in those days, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no,
Didn't the film get?
This is all sounding very Capricorn 1 to me. But
Oh yes, conspiracies. It's a fucking rabbit hole. I love it.
Now, can we talk about David Icke now and how we're all lizards?
And your old man will look after
You
it.
know what?
Oh, God. See, here we are just thinking he's just a kindly old man that's gone a little
Do you-
bit nuts.
so you're talking about the reptile people?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's a step ahead. He's already
Yeah.
made pals in the
Yeah.
system.
You know why?
He's been talking to our other uncle too much.
I'll tell you what they are because Alex Jones fucking went into it in detail. Ready? You know what he said? No bullshit. He goes, "There are a group of people. They're elitists that walk among us. They're like actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Not only that, these people disguise themselves, but they're reptilian in nature.
Oh, yes.
And we have it on good authority here at Infowars.com that these people want to suppress us."
Infowars.com more than you've
Oh,
been
my
fucking
God, than
advertising
your
us.
own podcast.
Because our podcast is shit.
No. Look at the quality work we've put in.
Oh,
this
fucking, it's award winning.
We haven't listened to it yet.
But the reptilians, I reckon that the reptilians are part of the social elite, and they're there
The
to
Rothschilds.
Yeah, they're the
Yes,
Rothschilds
yes.
and the... What's the other one?
Rockefellers.
No, there's
No,
another
they
one.
called them Rothschild Zionists, but they weren't necessarily Jews, and they weren't necessarily related to the Rothschilds. So
They're supposedly.
No, it starts with B. There's another one.
what?
That's another name.
No, that's Bigfoot. That's a different.
No.
That's Sasquatch.
Fuck off. No. Betamite? No.
Betamax?
Betamax.
Sodomite.
No. Sodomites. No.
Sodomy.
Promo.
Oh, how very odd of me to enjoy the act of sodomy.
I haven't seen
Please
that
tell
for
me
a
you've seen that movie.
Oh, God, a long
long
time.
time. Meet the Feebles.
I've never seen it.
Okay, well, that's coming after The Dark
That's
Crystal.
what Peter Jackson's
What's Meet the Feebles?
second movie.
It's like a puppet, but filthy puppet.
That's, yeah, it's kind of like Muppets with. Until you've seen a Muppet cat give a Muppet walrus a blowjob.
You haven't lived.
Yeah.
Is that a new?
No, it's old.
Because didn't they release a movie recently with Muppets, but they were rude Muppets?
Oh, I don't know.
There was
Like
a movie
Avenue
that just
Q.
came out.
Well, Avenue Q's been doing it for a long time, but
I'm not sure. But it was one of the first movies I saw when, like, after I'd met Stephen, we got ripped out of our minds and watched this awful thing. And there's this fly that in it that just... Was it Gary? Gary.
Well, there's the rabbit that catches mix and
Give it the Mixo rabbit.
It's
And then there's the sodomy.
And there's the sodomy.
it's
how
just
very odd
fun
of
for the
me.
entire family.
To enjoy the act of sodomy.
I can't do it, man.
Bum, 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 bum.
bum bum.
How long have we recorded this bullshit
Just
for?
over an hour.
Have we got anything else to say? This could be the shortest podcast we've ever done in
I
history.
want a cult, or I want cat yoga, or I don't know.
Well, okay.
Cat yoga.
Yes.
We can make money out of that.
Well,
We could. I am
All right,
sick and
let's,
tired.
listen.
let's brainstorm how to make money. Because this podcast ain't ever going to make money.
No, this podcast is shit. We actually, not long ago, I sat down with Lucky Lisa and I said, listen, what do we do? Because I wouldn't mind having a bit of a cult. And she says, well, okay, that's an awesome idea. And I go, yeah, absolutely, because I want ones where you can have unlimited women. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she said, oh, okay, well, whatever. I just want to make a lot of money and not work. I'm like, cool. And we went through in detail what we needed to do to have a cult. And it involved having robes and
Hair.
which,
So you need robes, hair, and Tupperware. Done.
Yes.
what's Tupperware for?
It's a classic pyramid scheme.
Oh, the some shit.
Amway. Yeah, but
Amway.
but I reckon cat yoga's the thing.
Cat yoga would make a
Yeah,
sponsor.
well,
We
we...
have a cat yoga retreat. We buy some shitty land.
Come up here.
Exactly. We come
Just
up
come
here.
to my house.
I'm telling you now, that isn't as crazy as it sounds.
No,
to
it's
have
not.
like a place where you bring your cat in, and you
No,
know
no,
what?
no, you don't bring your cat.
You
No. We provide the cats.
Oh, that's even more
No,
hardcore.
that won't work because you need people with cats.
Yeah, you need people with cats
You're
because they're
looking
bonded.
for the sad, lonely women.
Yes. You're looking for. Can I tell you? I'm your target market because I'm the fucking loser.
No,
You
won't
are a
be-
sad, you are
I'm
a sad, lonely woman. There's no doubt about it.
Sad, lonely man that all he
Woman.
has
Woman.
is his fucking cat.
No,
and even then,
no, because listen, you can't bring the cats because they're
no, you have to.
no, you have to. The cats have to be there. Because cats are a healing influence. It's like when people go to those stupid horse retreats and the horse intuitively
if you
Let me tell you
understands
about
me.
horses.
Yeah.
They can.
Oh, I don't
can
trust
they
them.
What?
I don't trust a horse, man. I don't trust them.
Like I love horses,
Don't you think
and I've
that-
ridden a lot of horses. I rode a horse through the friggin' Colorado
Oh,
mountains.
bullshit! You rode a horse.
I rode a horse through Colorado, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did you?
Very,
You've never
very-
told me this bullshit.
Yeah, we went up to when I was up in. Trying to remember the name of the place up there, where the snow is. I can't remember the fuck. Not Aspen. There's another region.
Colorado Springs.
Not Colorado. Above Colorado
Somewhere
Springs.
where there's Mormons.
Somewhere where there was at this particular event there were a lot of Mormons, but yeah, we went horseback riding up through the mountains.
You're
there.
riding your hussy.
You're riding a hussy, and it was one of those things where they had the shotguns on them as well, like the guides.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
And you're on your horse and you're on a trail, and they've gone. You see those claw marks on the tree. That's from a bear. It's from a brown bear, and you're like,
Great.
how
Can
old
we
would
go
that be?
now?
And they've gone, oh, probably not that long, maybe a couple of hours ago. And you're going, last time I checked, horses don't fucking like bears.
Yeah,
So you're taking a bunch of us amateur horse riders up onto the mountain with your fucking shotgun, and we're all going to die now. Thank you for that. Great stuff.
Great. So glad I came.
I still think going back to the cat yoga, I've been thinking about this.
Cat yoga would work.
You need to bring in your cats because
No.
you know
They're too
why?
hard to transport.
No.
I agree with Lisa. It's like a cat cafe in
It's
Japan.
exactly. It's like a cat cafe. You go.
Do you know they got raccoon cafes in Japan now?
I would.
Oh, they're
swear
fucked
that's
up, the
so good.
Japanese.
But yeah, no, you go to spend time with
And the cats crawl over you while
They
you.
crawl over you. They're proven to be friendly
What about
cats.
dog yoga?
They're
I can
not
do
cunt
dog.
cats like not dog yoga. No, they're
I hate
not.
it when the cat climbs over me while I'm trying to have dinner.
Okay, can I go you one more? All right, can I get this? Is pretty radical.
Can we talk about?
I
Danny
reckon if you
Dick Chair?
googled cat yoga,
What?
it'd
Can we
be
talk
a
about
thing.
Danny Dick Chair?
Danny Dick Chair.
Yeah, this is the other idea we had.
Okay.
Are you ready? But I wanted to say what we do. Ready for this one? Is radical. Nude cat yoga. The only problem is
Cat
that,
hair and crevices.
yeah,
Yeesh.
and the occasional
Claws.
clawing.
In private parts.
Downward dog.
No.
No, we had an idea. This is fucked up. You're going to have to help me explain this. because I was at a very lonely point in my life and a very sad point, and I said I've got no job, no money, no nothing, and Lucky Lisa says, well, you know what, and I said me and Jason Relaxation are thinking about doing a podcast. This is before we started this bullshit. And she says, well, why don't you do a YouTube channel? I go, well, what would I do?
You already got a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, but this is reviews.
This is reviewing. This is reviewing.
We can add it to our channel.
No, you don't
No,
want
you
to.
don't want to do
No,
it.
you don't want to do it. You haven't. You
The
haven't.
first review would be for a fleshlight.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
She said, why don't you review sex toys?
Yep.
And she says, would you? And she said, would you be willing to do anal beads? And I said no. At that point, she lost me. I said I'd do the fleshlight, no problem, because I'd use that like you
He
wouldn't
just use
fucking
his own.
believe.
He wouldn't have to.
I use my own.
Yeah.
They're fucking good.
Yeah, but we'd get, you know what, we'd get donations from people. You'd get all sorts of people.
You want one of those real
sponsoring
dolls.
you.
That's what you want.
Yes.
Well, this was part of the review process.
Real doll reviews.
Yeah, we
realdollreviews.com.
No, sorry.
No,
it's
we-
Danny Dick Chair.
Danny
or
Dick Chair
nothing.
was the
Danny
name.
Dick Chair.
Yeah, and I'd come in every week and I'd sit in front of a microphone and go, this week we're going to review the Fleshlight Practice Pro or whatever it's called. And I'd be talking about, it was awesome, except I only lasted one stroke. Like fucking Spit Roast Steve.
That's the ultimate in
That's
a
the
It's the
ultimate.
ultimate in
It's
fleshlight.
the old, but it's great. It was a great
Not a
time
long,
saver.
drawn-out
It was a
thing.
great time saver. I didn't have time to fucking get myself done. I fucking only had like a minute, and I did it in like 10 seconds. It was great.
The ad breaks on YouTube are short. You've got
Yeah.
You got to get them out. Yeah.
And so Lucky Lisa's like, oh, okay, well, would you review all the other? And I'll be like, yeah, I'd review anything. And she goes, well, how do you feel about anal beads? I'm like, no, I don't know.
That's the end of the line, apparently. No anal beads.
But she said, all right, well, you could create a channel
he
called
says that now.
Danny Dick Chair. That was the name of the show.
And then you could sell those things on a website too.
She said people that come to you for advice, like
They would totally come to you for
they
advice.
go, oh look, well, I'm thinking about using this. What was your experience? And I'd be like, oh well, that one gave me a rash.
Exactly. That
Oh,
one
yeah,
gave
I'm
me a
Supposed
rash.
to clean it first.
Yes,
This one was, a little bit.
that one grew.
Plasticky.
That one grew mold.
that one had sharp edges.
That one had. It was made in China when they had a barbecue and they left glass in it.
What you could do is also on that same channel review the Twitch girls.
Oh yeah, that was the other.
Like the
that's-
Twitch
yeah.
girl review.
What is
review
a
channel.
Twitch girl?
they're called a thought.
I know
thought.
it. A thought.
What a fucking horrible name.
That hoe over there, right?
yeah.
Now I'll tell you about the Twitch girls. No bullshit. I said this in the next life. I want to come back as a chick. That's a hot one. And all I'm going to do is get a webcam, and I'm going to be a millionaire. No bullshit.
You don't need to be hot.
Okay, I showed
don't
you
need to be hot.
before.
You need to be
Let me
something
tell
different.
you. Let me tell you the story. No, you don't need to be. I'll tell you the fucking story. You know the maid lady I showed you before. No bullshit. You know how much money she makes a month?
How much?
Because Twitch keeps a track of it.
Yeah.
$70,000 a month. She's a multi-millionaire.
I'm glad I spent 13 years at university.
No bullshit. You know what
Really
she
glad I've
does?
spent.
Do you-
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
telling you
I was
the
gonna say,
fucking
working
tr-
my way up. Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth. You know what she does? She does that bullshit. And she does this other thing called ASMR. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Oh,
What,
yeah, that's the whispery.
The whispering.
Oh, that yes.
So she does that. But she does it wearing like low cut stuff, and she's got a bits hanging out, which are fake, which her subscribers are paid for, but she doesn't give a fuck because she just sits there and goes,
Do it again.
You should just totally do
It's-
that.
rate, comment, and subscribe. And then I'd be a creepo one. I'd go,
That's horrendous. Ah.
so part of our shtick, Jason Relaxation was I was going to do the reviews of sex toys,
Yeah.
but I'd be reviewing it from a complete.
Mum would
loop.
be so proud.
Wouldn't she?
She'd be so fucking
She'd be
proud
so
of me, right?
happy.
And she'd be like, I'd be like, okay, first time user of this, and I'd be
long
like,
time watcher.
First time user.
yeah, exactly.
Long time
that
admirer.
that would be the catch. Long time watcher, first time user, right? And then I'd be like Forrest Gump. I'd be wearing a bathrobe and see how long I've. That was it. And then I said, I don't know if I can do it. Mum would be too disappointed in me. And then we sat.
don't think
And,
she'd
then,
get much more
and I'm not
disappointed.
making this up. We were fucking texting each other for
hours.
hours. And I said, I don't know if I said to her, I don't know if I can beat Danny Dick Chair. She goes, well, what else can we do? I go, well, what about fucking a cult? And she said, all right, well, let's work on that one. And the cult was back because was
That's
when we
where
watched
Cat Yoga came
Wild Wild Country.
That's right.
We'd watched that shit, and I said I want to be a cult because they were fucking rooting everything that moved. It was awesome. I fucking loved it. And she's like, okay, well, let's create a cult. And I go, well, we have to buy a fucking stake because remember in that fucking
They built a massive fucking...
they built a
Yeah,
compound.
no, we needed to buy some property to build the compound.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, there'd be some cheap stuff going at Kurrumbong at the moment.
Oh, yes. Actually,
The Seventh-day Adventists have pretty much
Seventh-day
gone broke.
Adventists
Have they?
have gone broke out there. We can
Have
get
they?
some cheap
How did the
ass...
Seventh-day
How'd
Adventists go
how'd that
broke?
happen?
Because, well, no, what they had, the sanitarium factory was out there. They closed
Yep.
that down, and all the
The
houses...
workers are gone.
Have they closed that down?
Yeah, I don't know where it's gone. Somewhere
Okay.
else.
So it just gets replaced with a different cult.
Ours.
I'll tell you where that's gone.
Excellent.
Cat yoga.
I'll tell
Excellent.
yeah, we're doing it, man. Cat yoga. I'll tell you where that Seventh-day Adventist has gone. You might have to fucking cut this out, but I don't give a
you
shit
fuck.
anymore. You know where it's gone? It's gone to fucking China, and they've gone, what, Wheat Bix? We're not selling Wheat Bix. We're around that. We're selling Wheat Bix. They want Wheat Bix. We sell Wheat Bix. What your problem? Some glass in this one, some screwdriver in this one. It's Wheat Bix. That's the problem.
You may have to cut that.
Nope.
Fuck it. He leaves
We've
it in
done it
there.
before,
And
haven't cut it.
then he says, oh, well, he's fucking done all this. Well, you might as well leave it all in there. I've said I want to be Danny Dick Chair on some fucking YouTube channel reviewing anal beads, but I won't do that. I'll just hold them up and say, apparently my good friend, she said they're fucking awesome, but I wouldn't know because she takes fucking billiard boards up the arse. I got no idea what she does. And then I said, I'll do the cat yoga. That's not a problem. I'll do that one.
Cat yoga, yeah.
I'm telling you, Cat Yoga Cafe.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Well, we've already
it'd be
got one
amazing.
I
cat.
tell you what, even if you just opened a cat cafe here, you'd make them what's
Well,
up.
I've already got...
There's one in Newtown.
Yeah, but there's not one up here.
Yeah, well, let's do it. I've already got one cat. You can fucking have
You
him.
can just do a possum cafe up here. There's
Just
fucking
go and
wild animals
get
everywhere.
kittens from the RSPCA.
No, you got my cat.
No,
you can have him.
your cat is a bastard.
Yeah,
Like,
no, but
Oh,
no,
he's
you
not
get
a friendly
no,
cat.
because people like kittens. So you get kittens
Kittens.
from the RSPCA, and when they've stopped being cute, you take them back and get a new batch.
Can you euthanize these, please?
Yeah, these ones.
These no longer meet my kitten
we-
needs.
You don't even need to do that. I'll go.
I just imagine
Mate.
Lisa walking in going, can I have 12 cats?
We don't even need to do that, mate.
I'd like to trade these ones
We
in
don't
for some
even
new
need
ones.
to. Fuck this podcast. But but we had all sorts of ideas. We had Wild Country, and we were like obsessed. We want to
I'm telling
create
you,
a
Cat
cult.
Cafe Cat Yoga would sell a mozza.
It would. We would make an absolute
Wouldn't there be
fortune.
certain issues with the health department having cats wandering around?
No, they do
No,
it in Japan.
they
and
do
they
it-
don't
They
give
do
a
it in
fuck.
Japan.
No, you can only... There's the one in Newtown. So there's a food area and then there's a
Cat area.
cat area type thing. And you can take your sealed coffee.
So it's like
and-
trying to have a cigarette in a pub now. You can't take it into a certain part.
Basically,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And then they'd be shitting everywhere and be like, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's just
not-
natural.
Look how cute
Look how
they
cute
are.
he is. Oh, he's walked in his own shit.
Cat
That's all right.
Yoga. Who can teach yoga that
You know what I love?
Yeah,
My-
we need a yoga teacher.
You know what I love? My cat. He does his business in the kitty
Yeah.
litter,
As they do.
and you go, "Good boy," right? And then later on, he comes up to you, and I know he's not affectionate with strangers, but with me he is.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he lies on my stomach and he purrs at me,
Yeah.
and he looks up in my eyes and he gets with his paw like this.
Yeah.
He brushes my face with his paw.
Yeah.
And I hear this, right? And I think, all right, what a wonderful animal, until he gets off, and then I realise he hasn't been careful in the kitty litter and he smeared shit all over me. Fucking prick of a cat. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times he's been to the kitty litter and I'm thinking, have you been careful or not? And then I find out that he hasn't been careful and he smeared shit all over me, the prick. Fucking cat.
You're not really selling the
I was about to say, I'd
yoga.
probably leave that out of the marketing material.
That's staying out of the brochure.
I'm not fucking responsible for these cats and their bullshit
Yeah,
shit
no,
when
we
they...
just we hire some, 15, 16-year-old person to clean up after.
Oh, we got heaps of them.
Yeah.
I'll pick up cat shit.
any yoga teacher.
I tell you, I know a few yoga teachers.
Yeah.
But would you do that Kundalini yoga? I told the story about the Kundalini yoga. You know about this one? They sit on a fucking fur rug and they do the rapid fire breathing. And I went in there one day and they said, "Oh, you have to, for the girls, clench your sex organ, and for the boys, clench your anus." I was fucking out of there.
Do you know why they say that? Have you been sort of listening into this podcast and number time you drop your guts? That's why they say clench your ass.
It's about the
It's certainly why I'm
kegels.
clenching mine at the moment.
I am too. I need to do a shit. How long have we been running for? Because normally I say I got to do a piss, but this time it's a bit different.
Yeah, I'm just
1
about...
hour 17.
I
Yeah,
think we
seriously,
wrap it up.
I'm just about touching cloth here. This is...
I'm touching cloth. He's gonna drop some kids off at the pool.
Oh, I've got the turtle's head. It's not cool.
This is the first. This is the first time that's ever happened. We normally say let's end it with a piss, but we'll end it with I think I need to do a shit. Drop a few kids at the pool.
Lay some cable.
Oh, that's a good
He's
one.
going for an Optus was what we used to call
That's
it.
right, mate. What was the other one? There was a few other sayings.
So many. So
Sink the
many.
dreadnought. Give birth to Meatloaf's daughter.
That's a good one. What else? What is Keep it coming, man. Come on.
You have so many.
I
Don't
can't,
even
I can't
pretend.
concentrate anymore though.
Touching cloth was good.
An Ulapoo.
Oh, Ulapoo, yeah. That was, yeah, crap of monolithic proportions. The Ulapoo. Yeah. No, my eyes are watering. I can't do this anymore.
This has been Invert the Y. I don't know what episode it is anymore, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit.
I do.
He's heading off.
He's left the building.
He's left the building. He really is doing shit. He really is.
Oh my god.
He's taken off to do his shit. Oh, thank you, Jason Relaxation. Thank you, Lucky Lisa. And thank you, Pooey Bum Steve.
He got spit roasted too
He
hard.
got spit roast. He ate too much. You know what? He ate too much spit roast. I've been Retro Dan, and thank you. I tell you what, I'm sorry about ranting about the Dark Crystal, but I've been loving it ever since 1982. It's a rabbit hole. I can't help it. Until then, until another time we go down the retro memory lane of my ever decreasing fucked up brain, this has been Invert the Y. Roll it, muggies!